Dean Legge and Matt DeBary going to wrap up the recruiting day. It was a busy one, so I saw Clay Webb, Jaden Hazelwood, John Emery.
Yeah, those are the two big ones. Clay Webb, obviously 5-star offensive lineman out of Oxford, Alabama. Georgia, Alabama, Auburn battle. Really good to see him here today. He told me he was not originally planning on taking a visit to Georgia this fall, was going to take one in December. He showed up today, so that was big news. Obviously,
this is official?
I don't believe so. I'll have to go back and check on that. I think he still wants to come back for an official visit in December. John Emery was here, 5-star running back out of Louisiana. You went and watched him play. He's a really, really good back.
They could use him right now.
They could use him right now. Then obviously 5-star receiver Jaden Hazelwood has been taking his visits to Auburn, Miami, Oklahoma. Still committed to Georgia and has been for a year and a half now. But you never really know with him. He's definitely keeping his options open. Still a Georgia commit. He was here today. That was a big deal. Lots of 2020 kids. Most of the 2019 guys were here. Trevon Walker was here. Rylan Godey, Don Blaylock, a bunch of guys. But yeah, it was a very talented group here, Dean.
Okay, we have moved to an undisclosed location. I don't know where we were. Jaden.
Talked about John Emery a little bit, talked about Clay Webb, talked about Jaden Hazelwood. Trevon Walker was here, a 5-star lineman who's really high on my board. You got to see him earlier this year. Just overall, lots of 2019 commitments were here, lots of 2020 targets. Overall, it was a really talented group, but the big takeaway was Clay Webb was here, Jaden Hazelwood was here, and then getting John Emery back in Athens was a big deal. I kind of heard that LSU was trying to get back in the mix, the way they were playing. So really good to get him back here as well. So
LSU's going to have a hard time getting him in the mix. I think there's always going to be implied pressure with the home state school.
Like you said, he's really good too.
No, he's really good, and I mean I think tonight you saw where having Zamir White would have helped you. I say that they ran for 250 yards though, so
yeah, it seemed like a quiet 250 yards too. Yeah, Zykevious Walker, another guy that you saw, big old defensive lineman. He was here. It was a little different today. They wouldn't let some of the media, have access to where we usually are, so kind of had to see recruits from astray, but a lot of young talent, and again, the 2019, most of the commitments were here. They're going all around the country, but the in-state guys are here, and of course John Emery and a few others, but I think Bill Norton was here, the guy that I saw a few weeks ago out of Memphis, 4-star defensive lineman. So really good group today, and we thought that it might be one of the bigger recruiting weekends of the year.
It sure was.
It definitely was. I think Auburn will probably be another big one in November, but this is one that a lot of these Georgia commitments and targets, circled on their calendar. They wanted to be here for this Georgia-Tennessee game.
The interesting thing, too, is with John Emery, he got a chance to talk to Herschel Walker, but what was today you had Herschel Walker here, you had Ric Flair here. I mean, it was kind of a weird
I don't know if these kids even know who Ric Flair is, but
no, they do.
Players got a kick out of it. I know that.
Well, the interesting thing, my point is, past the waterfalls over there, you get the ability to take advantage of that $60 million construction, and you're hosting guys inside of that facility, and here's Herschel Walker. In the past, you had to walk up there or kind of wherever. They're taking advantage of it.
Definitely. And I haven't been in there, but I've heard everything I've heard from recruits, their families, trainers, anyone who's been in there is saying it's magnificent. The players love it. The whole lounge, the locker room, everything is great. So anytime you can get these 5-stars to come back, whether they're committed or not, and see the new facilities and see an atmosphere like this. I thought the atmosphere was great, especially early on.
Well, this fraternity and sororities checked out.
Right, yeah, they did. It happens, but I do think the recruits were here, did have a good time from what I saw prior to the game on the sideline.
Yeah, it's really pathetic on Greek life, quite frankly. I mean, you got to do better than that.
A lot of people were leaving a little bit early.
They were, but I mean, Greek life makes a statement about it. Usually there's a whole section you're missing, and this is about recruiting, if you look around and you see sections of the stadium that are not full.
Not ideal.
This is Georgia. It's not Clemson where you sort of expect areas that are not full. Here, it's sold out every single week.
Right. Yeah, they were here and they saw a pretty good, sloppy game. And, Georgia came out with the win. And I think Kirby's going to, be hanging out and talking to these recruits and their families probably right now as soon as he can. And, he's all about recruiting after these games. So lots of big-time targets here. Overall, really, really good group of prospects.
Where are they? This is the last thing we'll say. Where are they moving forward from where they're at right now? I mean, they have a solid class in terms of 1, 2, or 3 in the country, depending on who you look at, and it's a deep class so far. Where do they what do they need that's left? You got a minute.
2 defensive backs, a safety, a cornerback. I definitely think they need another running back. As we've seen, you can't have enough good running backs. They've got John Emery, probably the best running back in the class. I still think you need a second one. Obviously, I think they've got room for 2 offensive linemen, Clay Webb being one, maybe Trevor Keegan, an offensive tackle out of Illinois, and then one more big-time inside linebacker, whether it's Nakobe Dean, Owen Papo. So 2 defensive backs, 1 linebacker, 1 or 2 offensive linemen, and in my opinion, 1 more running back.
Just one last thing on John Emery, and it's, to some degree, it's have you seen them play prejudiced? But having seen him play, I'm not sure he won't be better than people think when he's here.
I've never seen him in person. He's built.
Well, he can play. He's a very good running back. I would. Now, people are going to go to LSU in a couple of weeks. I would encourage you to watch him play if you can. I've already gone out there and seen him. We've got an event at Dawg Post, but I would encourage people if you're going out there. All right, for Matt DeBary, it's Legge wrapping up the recruiting report for Dawg Post. Yeah, in Georgia. All right.